Everybody, welcome to another edition of James Jam. I'm Jame, this is Mick, and this is my jam. And today we're going to do a Q&A for you. We are not sure if this is going to go in 2 parts or not. It's going to just depend on how far we get and how this goes. So, because we, one of the biggest questions, and I don't have anybody's names. I have the list here, that's what I'm looking at. I didn't keep anybody's names as to who asked what or anything like that, because we did get asked a lot of the same questions, and our kind of how we met and how we got together story is interesting and kind of long. So we might make that what today's video is about, and then finish the Q&A on Tuesday, or play that part on Tuesday. We might cut this into pieces, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because we'll probably record it all right now, but you know, it all depends on how that comes about. So, you gonna look at the camera or
no?
He's like giving a hard time. It's awesome. All right, so, well, all right. First off, how we met was I was working at a pizza place in my town, and he was friends with another person who worked at the pizza place. And then I think he would come into the pizza place to see his friend, and then I would be there.
Yeah.
And then one of the biggest, I think, or first memories he has is
a party at your parents' house. April 15th, 1987. And the only reason I really remember it, not the only reason, but the biggest reason is that's that was the first no-hitter in Brewers history. Juan Nieves threw a no-hitter that night. So, yeah.
I saw him. I thought he was cute. It was a big party. My parents were in Europe, and my sister, who also worked at the pizza place at the time and was in high school with Mick and his friends,
yep,
had a crush on one of his friends. And she had this great idea to have this big party while my parents were gone, and it got
huge.
It was terrible.
I mean, probably, what do you think, 50 people?
Oh, at least, yes.
It's probably
all
between 50 and
underage
75.
drinking.
Yeah. Yeah, you were the oldest one there, probably.
Yep. It was bad. He's younger than I am, so he was still in high school and I wasn't.
I'm 19.
And
sorry.
You're not 19.
No.
You're not that. Okay, so he was there. I ended up bringing 2 guys that I was kind of seeing at the time. They were roommates, and neither one really knew that I was kind of seeing each of them. Anyways, I was a wilder child back then, but I always thought he was cute. But then all I remember of him that night...
What do you mean was?
Okay, you're so cute.
Okay.
Is him sitting on the floor in my family room with a baseball hat on.
Watching the Brewer game.
Watching the Brewer game and drinking a beer probably,
yep,
or whatever. And that's really all I remember of him.
I'd have been a senior in high school, 18. Yep. Yeah, that was quite the party.
Yeah. And I mean, like, oh my gosh, people got into fights. There was a fist fight and somebody bled all over my parents' bedspread and on their floor. Somebody pulled the hoop off the basketball hoop outside.
I know who that was, but I won't name him.
Yeah, I know.
It wasn't me.
I know who it was.
But it was a friend of mine.
Yeah.
That was a thing he did back then.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. We'd peruse neighborhoods and he'd go and do that.
It was terrible though. They broke closet doors at my parents' house. They broke railings.
Not me.
No.
But I just sat and watched the Brewer game all night.
Right. He did. And it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare party I don't ever want to talk about again. And it was bad. But so I kind of always thought he was cute, knew who he was, but he was too young. And and I think in high school and stuff, he dated a lot of different girls, like not too many serious, more like serial
dating. A lot
dating.
of casual things, yeah.
And then he found his serious girlfriend, And the next thing I remember about him, besides when he would come into work, is I actually started dating and got engaged to the person that I worked with at the pizza place that was friends with him.
Yep.
And I remember going to a party and he was there without his girlfriend. Well, she ended up being his fiance. He was there without her. But I still remember we're all outside talking.
Oh, yeah, that was up at Rich's cabin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all there, and he comes
Remember,
up.
we were all young once before the story finishes.
Right. They had all been drinking. He comes out and sits by me and my, at the time, boyfriend, fiance. I don't know if we were engaged yet then. And starts talking, and then all of a sudden goes, just a second. And he leans over and throws up right next to where we're all sitting.
Not my finest moment.
And then he just turns back around into conversation, drinking his beer and talking some more. And I thought, okay, maybe he's not as cute as I thought he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
She didn't want to hold my hair, I guess, so.
yeah, uh-huh. And, then, he was engaged to his fiance. Yep. I was engaged to our mutual friend.
Yep. And then we went out on a double date.
Yeah.
The four of us went to dinner at Chi-Chi's. Used to be a chain restaurant. Was that Wet Tex-Mex?
Yeah. Kind of Mexican.
Yeah.
Tex-Mex.
Yeah, it was good, but I mean, it wasn't fresh. It was, it is what it is. That's why they're no longer in business. But anyhow, so yeah, the four of us went out to dinner, and dinner was okay. And then we went, where did we go afterwards? We went to
the rail.
The rail, okay.
And I remember, I mean, just while you're hearing this whole story, I still kind of think that there's little things that would kind of tell us that we are kind of meant to be. Little things like, I remember exactly what he was wearing that night. And why would I remember that? He's somebody else's fiance at that point. And, but I just remember thinking he looked really cute, and he had this dark blue sweater on. So then, we did that. Then he had a brand new car. Was that your little Geo
That was
Metro?
my 1999 Geo Metro XFI. This car was under $6,000, brand new. It was a 3-cylinder, and it came so stripped down when I bought it in 1990 that it didn't even have a radio in it. So I had to go to the exclusive company and have a radio with CD player put in. But yeah, that car got over 50 miles a gallon. Well, it was a 3-cylinder. It was basically a large aluminum can. So the four of us crammed into that bad boy, and we went to the rail, and my friend and her fiance at the time, he was a kind of a jealous type of fella, and the more he drank, the more it kind of fueled his jealousy. And after we left there, I think we were thinking of going somewhere else.
But then when you were going to just take us home, because I was living with him at the time, and I'm like, don't take me home, let me get out. And you're like, no, I'm not gonna stop and let you out. And I kept on begging him, just let me get out of the car. I said, he's really mad right now, this is not gonna be good. And he was thinking, well, I was probably overreacting,
Yeah, when you think about, your friends, you think you know them, and it's like, why is she being like this? And, it's my friend, he's fine, it's not a big deal. And so then I took you to where you had was your car parked at the place?
Yeah, to our house, to our apartment.
Yep, okay.
And I had my keys ready, and as soon as we got there, I jumped out of the car, ran into my car, got in it, put the key in the ignition, locked all the doors, and then my fiance proceeded to run to my car.
He sprinted out of the back of the car. It was the craziest thing. It's still just so surreal thinking about it. And then he starts hitting her window. He broke it too, right?
Yeah, he punched his fist through
he punched his fist through it. And I'm like, it's like watching it on TV, and you're like, holy schmoly. So I jump out of the car and I go jump on top of him and pull him away. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I still remember his voice. What the hell are you doing, Kevin? His name might have been Kevin. It's just not gonna...
We'll just call him that going forward.
Yeah.
His name's Kevin because his name is Kevin. But yeah, so kind of grabbed him off of her and off the car, and she kind of sped off, broken window and all. And I'm like, what the hell did I just see? So I proceed to stuff him back in the back seat of my car, and I'm taking him home. And this is the only thing I can think of was, and I said back to him, I said, you better not be bleeding in my new car.
Yeah, you just gotten it.
Just got it. I'm like, you better not be bleeding in my new car. So I dropped him off at home, and
well, you dropped him off. It must have been at his parents' house.
yeah,
or
at his parents' house. Yep, that's what I meant. Yeah. So I took him there, and
then, yeah, we, needless to say, me and him broke up, and he was not in favor of that breakup, and would harass me any way he possibly could, and he would do things like I'd be at work and he'd come to where I was and wait until I got out of work, and then follow me in his car and keep tapping my car with his car. So I ended up getting a restraining order. He still kept doing it. So finally, one of the times I was fed up and I went to the police department, and he didn't want to follow me into the parking lot there, but I went in to file the report. Long story short, I ended up meeting a police officer, marrying the police officer, having a kid. It was funny though, because while I was super pregnant, I went into where he worked.
yep. I was working at the service desk at Cops in Oshkosh, and she comes waddling in. She was all pregnant and stuff, and had her Oshkosh bagosh bibs,
Just no.
or just bibs,
Yep.
bibs on. And I was like, holy crap, I haven't seen you in a long time. And we talked for a little while.
I
and
thought I was cute.
I thought she was cute, but yeah, it was crazy. I think that was the next time I saw you.
And that he still remembered like what I was wearing, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then my first marriage, unfortunately or fortunately, I guess, however you look at it. First off, marrying a police officer took care of the problem with the first fiance, because he just made sure it was taken care of. That's all I'll say about that. And so I ended up getting divorced, and I had my son, and then I was I was going out once in a while, and I had kind of seen this one guy once or twice. I ended up going to a bar where the guy was that I was supposed to be seeing, and he was there, but he was helping the bouncer be a bouncer. And so...
'Cause that's a tough job, being a bouncer.
Right.
You need a bouncer's assistant.
And here is Mick sitting on a chair by himself. Must have got out of work, had this blue tie on and a dress shirt. And so I'm thinking I'm going to be brave. I'm going to walk up and say something to him, because I didn't know if he hated me or what, although he was so nice.
The funny thing is, just like a half hour previously, I was out at this place with Kevin, and he had just left about a half hour before she got there. So that was probably fortuitous timing.
Yeah. So I walked in. The guy that I was supposed to meet there was bouncing, and I saw him, and I'm very introverted, but I decided I'm gonna go up. I'm just gonna say, hey, how you doing? And so I go, oh, hey, how you doing? How's married life been treating you? Because he was supposed to have been married in January of that year, and it was April.
Oh, it wasn't January. It was the first week of April. This was...
You were supposed to get married the first week of April?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it was the end of April then.
Yep.
So he was supposed to be married.
Yeah.
So I waltz up. I'm all proud of myself, because little old introverted me goes up to say something to him, and he tells me,
yeah, we're not together anymore. Yeah, we had split up that January.
that's where January
Yeah.
came in.
Yep, we'd split up that January, and I was driving to work every day from Oshkosh to Watertown. It's about an hour and 15 minutes each way. You know, you're young and stupid, and I had my 50 miles per gallon car, so it was no big deal. But yeah, so she kind of put her foot in her mouth on that one.
I did. I felt really stupid, but then part of me is like, yes. And I think there was instant attraction there.
Yeah.
And I had come with a friend of mine, and so the guy that I was supposed to see asked me to dance at the end of the night, so I was dancing with him. So Mick asked the friend I was with to dance, and I thought, oh, that sucks, whatever. And so we're all going out to our cars, and I drove my own car, and then the guy that I was supposed to meet up with had his car, and some of my friends wanted to go out to eat afterwards, and he wasn't happy that I had talked to Mick. And so he was saying, let's get going. And he's sitting in his car. And when I walk out, he's in his car, the other guy. And I'm walking to my car, and Mick is in his car. Oh, you had a Saturn by then.
Yeah.
And
Yep, I did.
he rolls down his window and he goes, hey, can you get in for a minute? Into his car. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm thinking I want to avoid the other guy. And so we start talking, and finally after about, 15 minutes, a half hour, the other guy squeals his tires and drives off.
Yeah.
And then we stayed talking for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually started dating.
Yep.
Got together.
Yep.
Got engaged. Got married.
Mm-hmm.
Had a baby.
Yep.
Then
we got divorced.
Because somebody
wasn't very mature at the time.
Yeah, no.
I was a 25-year-old kid, older than that, but not much. 26-year-old kid. I wasn't mature enough to be a husband or a father, and it took me a couple of years to grow up, and we kind of stayed together and stayed in touch. We shared a kid, so there was always that, and rolled around to this was what? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, we kind of always stayed in touch and close because I still really loved him, and I think he still loved me, and then I ended up was seeing some other people here and there, and a guy that I had been seeing asked me to marry him. Then he finally decides.
Yeah.
Comes over to my place, 2 dozen roses.
Red ones.
Pours out his heart to me that he's in love with me, doesn't want me with anybody else, and wants us to be together.
Yep. That was 98. So it was kind of a 3-year lull between 95 and 98.
Yeah, yep.
Then we got married, we bought a house, had another kid, and it's been an awesome 26 years since.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of drama in there and stuff.
Yeah, very, very interesting story how we kind of, it's a huge world, but we kept, running into each other or seeing each other. And so, yeah, karma played a role, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah, been together ever since.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, it's been good. A lot of ups and downs, but more ups than downs for sure.
Yeah. What relationships don't, though. It's something you got to work at. And, I think we've worked pretty hard at it over the years. And, I think that's why we're in such a good place now.
Yeah. Yeah, we both had learning to do. Clearly, obviously, I had a habit of, in times, ending up with the wrong person. And had to learn what it was like to be with somebody who would actually care about me
Treat
in
you
the
good.
way they should.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
yeah. So that's that.
That's our story.
Yeah. So
In a 20-minute nutshell.
right, married, divorced, married.
Yep.
So yeah. So that was us. We have 2 children together, but basically
We have 3 boys.
3 boys is
Yeah.
the way we look at it. They look at it. I don't think that they would ever think that they're 3 brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just brothers to the
Yeah.
end. So
There's no step in there.
no, not at all. And because my youngest was 2 when he met Mick, and yep, they've been
Mickey Daddy.
Mickey Daddy, yep. And Mick Run Me, I
Yeah.
still remember that. That was awesome. So yeah, it was yeah, it's been good.
For sure.
So yeah, we've been together off and on since 95, mainly on
Well, no, I mean, from 93.
93.
Yeah,
Okay.
Because
Okay.
we had Turner in 94.
Yeah. So since
We got together in
93.
April of 93.
Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, in between when we weren't together, I think he only saw one other person, and I saw just a few others. Mine was just a few. I might have gotten engaged in the middle of there again, but I'm not even going to that story. 'Cause that's, yeah. So yeah, let's see. That's how did we meet? What's our love story? How long have we been together? Oh, all right. Here, what do you like best about each other?
I like best about you your willingness to try pretty much anything. I mean, you don't necessarily have to like it, but you're always pretty game for anything. Not that we do anything crazy. It's just, trying different things, and, who knew that we'd be avid coin collectors? It was something that we kind of monkey putzed around for a while, and now we do it every week. It's just part of what we do and who we are, and it's just, I don't know, it's little things like that over time that you continue learning about your spouse, and it just makes the relationship so much more deeper, I think. How about you?
What do I like best about him? This is gonna be really, really weird.
My hair?
Because I despise that.
Yeah, she doesn't like that I'm a follically challenged fella.
I hate it. He knows it.
I'm gonna comb my back hair.
He doesn't care in the least. Does not care in the least that
I
bothers me or
save
what I
on
think about that.
shampoo.
You still use shampoo, which is like as much as a person with a full head of hair uses. That's what he uses.
Gotta keep the palette.
Crazy. What do I like best about him? I like that, and yeah, like I was gonna say, it's kind of hard to see because there was a time when he wasn't this person completely, but to see what it's like to be with somebody who will treat me like I'm supposed to be treated and be a good father to my kids and his kids. But I love my father, but he's a very, very difficult person and has made it very difficult. Now looking back over 50 years, you start seeing why you had issues and how you don't know what it's like to be treated by a father. And like, I'm certainly never daddy's little girl or anything like that. And by watching him and his father,
Yeah, I had a great role model.
I've learned a lot now. His was a long time coming, and he still has his moments where he has some kind of narcissistic tendencies, which have been kind of flown by the wayside after all the time we've been together. And now it's just like, he's just a good dad, and he's taught me how, I didn't know how to be that way. Like, even little things like, should we have kids sleep over? I was never allowed to have anybody sleep over. So I didn't know that anybody was necessarily supposed to get to sleep over. Yeah. And there's been little things like that he'd have to kind of guide me along the way.
We were a good balance, it's
because
there were so many things that she just didn't know that she'd just say, so what do we do here? You know, what's the situation?
What's normal?
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what normal was.
Yeah, and I had an extremely normal childhood. Like I said, my dad was a great role model, and you know, my childhood was really solid, really good, and just trying to share that with her and what, you know, share that with our boys growing up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
So yeah, I like that best. And then I guess it kind of goes right into it too. What are you most proud of about each other?
I think I'm most proud of the mother that you are. You didn't have the greatest parental role models growing up, but you've always been, you know, it's basically, I don't want to say the 100% opposite, but it's like you just didn't have any playbook to learn from, but you've become just a fantastic mom kind of on your own. And I couldn't be prouder of you because you just didn't have that playbook. You didn't have that imprinting growing up on what a good parent looks like. And to see the mom that you are, it's incredible. It's amazing.
That's nice. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I would say to you, the man you've become, because it's been such a kind of a 180 from a kind of, not to be mean, kind of self-absorbed child man to
very self-centered. Yeah, I would agree with that.
And just becoming very just such a good dad, like in tune with stuff. Like, he's a super big sports guy, and only one of our sons was really into any kind of sports. So playing in fields that he wasn't as familiar with took some time and learning, but like he just kind of dug right in, and has been a really good father to the boys too. So I think that's probably what I'm most proud of as well, just who you've turned in to be.
Yeah.
Because it's been a long journey, but a good journey.
Yeah,
definitely.
For sure.
Let's see. How long have I been collecting bags? I would say that this kind of ties into, I really like the question I got, when did you realize, tell me the story of when you realized you were into bags. And I still remember this, and it's might be tucked away somewhere. I don't know, because I keep everything. But when I was younger, I had this white purse, and it was like kind of fake patent leather. And I would carry that purse all over the place and kept it with me forever. And inside of it, I always kept this old Avon mirror. It used to have perfume in it, I think, but it was a mirror with glass around it and then a gold handle that you'd untwist the handle. And that's how the perfume came out. I don't know where I got it from. I think maybe my grandma, I'm not sure. But I still remember that white bag and thinking that was like the coolest thing ever. And I was a huge tomboy growing up, just huge tomboy. So the fact that I liked this purse was just so out of character for me, but I loved it. I kind of treasured it, and I'd always keep it and have it around. And I should say I carried it all around, because I really didn't carry it all around. Like, I didn't take it too many places.
Kmart.
But no, but I always wanted to have it. I just always knew I really, really liked it. And then I got obsessed with the first infomercials. You remember those purses? And I never can remember the name, even though I look them up. Not Spencer. Is it Spencer? But there were those purses that had a billion pockets in them, and then you get all these free things, and they'd pile them out of the purse, and you could get your initials put on the flap. And I thought that was like the be-all, end-all purse. I would try to get my mom to buy that all the time for herself. She never did. But I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. And in fact, I'll put a link down in the description box down below to like a YouTube commercial for it, because I thought it was the coolest thing ever. So, and then I think I've always just loved bags. They had that special white one. And then, just, yeah, always, like, I advanced into used to get the old Nine West bags. I forgot what they're, Liz Claiborne they were, and then I think that became Nine West. Used to get those and think that was like, that was something, man.
That was like cat's meow.
Those were some nice bags and more money than the other ones, that people would buy. So I thought I was pretty special. My mom would get them for me and stuff, or I'd get them, and I thought that was pretty cool to have them. And then a matching wallet. And then Coach kind of came along, and then I'd be getting Coach bags. And so I always really liked bags, not necessarily anything luxury, never dreamed of having it until found Minx for All, and I think I've told that story now a few times. And yeah, just been addicted ever since, and it just kind of
snowballed from there.
Yeah, that escalated quickly.
Big
right?
Freaking snowball.
Right. Let's see. Did the cameraman volunteer for the role of filming, or did I have to talk him into it?
The latter.
I wouldn't say, I didn't have to talk you into it. No. One of my sons used to film me, and he wasn't available, and so I asked Mick if he would film me, and he did, and he couldn't keep his mouth shut during the filming.
All these random thoughts kept coming in, and it's like, why not let this good stuff out?
Yeah.
So.
And then it just got to be a thing.
Yeah.
And now I think both really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And it's not scripted. I know it might seem like that at times.
Because he's good, right?
But it's very off the cuff crap.
Yeah, he's good. Let's see. What is my number one favorite luxury house and why? Boy,
I'd say our house. No, not the question. Okay.
Not that. No.
Okay.
I would say, I think overall I'm going to have to give it to Mulberry. I think that they have phenomenal bags, a decent price point, color saturation's fantastic. Their leathers have been fantastic. I like their styles. Probably them best of all, but it's only best by a little bit. I'm kind of a multi-bag lover. I like most of the...
A multi-house lover?
Yeah, fashion houses.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't discriminate by all the different styles you have upstairs.
No, I don't, right? Or colors. Which brings me to, is your home decorated with as much color as your bags? Or do you have more neutrals?
There is some color. We've done a lot of rooms in the house. We've been here 21 years. I guess the kitchen and the dining room's pretty neutral, but the living room here is very unneutral. The piano room is not my favorite color, but it's definitely a different color. Our computer room is really different. But our upstairs is pretty, well, the boys' rooms, they got to paint their own or choose their own color. That was so funny. Quick story. I took one of the boys, she took one of the two older ones to get paint. We allowed them to choose paint for their rooms. This was way back, right after we moved in, pretty close, so.
And well, we had a family room upstairs, and we finally were going to split all the boys. So they each got their own bedroom.
Yep.
So one we knew wanted Spider-Man,
yep.
So that was easy.
That was pretty easy, yeah.
So I take a boy, he takes a boy.
Yep, we go get paint, 2 different places, and we come back, and I'll be damned if the paint isn't it's like maybe a slight shade different, but you really couldn't tell. And it's a dark blue.
Yeah.
Both rooms, so it's like, oh my God.
It was the craziest thing
so
ever.
Funny.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was funny, and they're still that. Well, one of them is that color. Yeah. My room where I film was one of those. I've repainted it since then, but he uses
ice stuff.
I painted that room. Yes, I did. You helped with the bathroom the second time we repainted it, but he uses the one
Fascinating.
as his man cave movie room. So then the dark color works.
That works pretty well.
All in there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Favorite holiday and why? Christmas. My mom was huge into Christmas. We didn't have a lot of money growing up, and so and for our birthdays we were always allowed up to $10 gift, and that was it. And that was the amount up until probably after high school. And then Easter, maybe she'd do a little $5 gift and candy. But Christmas, man, she went ham. And we opened presents for Mom and Dad on Christmas Eve, and then Santa would come overnight, and then we'd get all our Santa presents, and it was phenomenal. It was magical. And growing up in a house where there was a lot of angst and not always the happiest, best situation, it was just it was a day that I always knew would be magical. Every year, bar none, always was easily Christmas for me.
Yeah, I would have to say the same thing. My dad made Christmas just so much fun. You know, he was a factory worker, got laid off here and there quite a bit, but he always had a way of making Christmas just so special. We'd open presents on Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day, there'd always be a lot of food and snacks, and it was just, you know, it was one of those things you just look forward to each year, not just the presents, but people coming over and all the, you know, the big spread at the table, and it was a lot of fun. It was great.
And I think we make it special too for the kids. That's always been a big deal to me, so I've always had something planned. Like one year I read that in Victorian times, people would have parties, and you would arrive at the party, and then you'd be given a string, and you had to follow the string throughout the house and all over through the rooms to finally get your present, which is at the end of the string. And so I took 3 things of yarn, and I spent hours Christmas Eve night one night wrapping this string, the yarn all over our whole first level.
All through the house.
Everywhere, all over the place. So, and then I did the next kids, and then I did the next kids, and I still remember I was sick as a dog, but I was just weaving my way through things and under and over, and they came over and they were just, I'll have to see if I think there might be some video of it somewhere, and if I find it ever, I'll put it on YouTube. But they came down for Christmas and or came over for Christmas, because not everybody was living here at the time, and couldn't believe it. They just walked in, and it was like,
it looked like our house was a big loom.
Yeah, it was crazy. So cool though. They loved it. It was cool.
But that was one of those things that's done once.
And yeah, I don't want to do it
time
again.
consuming.
I don't want to do it again.
Yeah.
And but we always try to do something fun or something special like that. But yeah, so I think we make it.
Yeah, depending on, you know, when the kids are working. So we typically will open them Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, depending on, you know, what their jobs are and if, you know, when they're able to make it over. And typically then we'll make like a Christmas breakfast or something like that.
And then we do what my parents always did, is everybody opens their present one at a time.
Yeah.
So we start with the youngest, and the youngest opens their first present, and then the next, and the next, and the next, and then you start second present.
Makes it last a little longer, and kind of
then you're paying attention to
seeing what everybody gets, and it's enjoyable. I mean, and nobody's in a big hurry. It's just you're enjoying spending time with everybody and seeing what everybody got, and you know, it's just a good time.
Yeah. Let's see. Where do you like to travel to for vacation?
Yeah, we're pretty boring when it comes to that. We both really like going to the same spot over and over and over again. Gatlinburg, Tennessee. You know, it's crazy. But you get there and the area has such a high turnover. It seems like there's something new every year. You know, and it's the surrounding area. It's Sevierville, it's Pigeon Forge, it's
Smoky
Gatlinburg.
Mountains.
Yeah, the whole Smoky Mountains. And there's always so much to do. mini golf, mountain coasters, hiking, shopping, eating. Yeah, I'm really good at that. That's one of my favorites is eating. That and the mountain coasters, I think.
Yeah.
But it's fun, and we take a couple days to get there, and we spend a week there, and it's funny because we're going at least twice a week, 2 times a year, and this year we'll actually get there 3 times a year.
Yeah.
So, and why do we keep going? It's just there's always something new to do, and the things that we like to do, we get to do again over and over. We get to take hikes. We can go up to Klingman's Dome. I know it's called something different now, but just taking these hikes and walking through nature, and just it's a lot of fun.
It's funny too, because every time we get an idea to maybe we're going to go somewhere else, and then we start thinking about how much money that'll take, and then we think of how much more fun we could have with that much money if we
go to Gatlinburg.
We went to Gatlinburg, so then we go to Gatlinburg.
Yeah. It's changed a lot in the
Yeah, you even see. I've been going since I was about 10.
Yeah, and I've been going since probably 94, 95 maybe.
Yeah. And
just so much has changed in that time frame. It's just incredible. I mean, things have been built up, things have been changed out. I mean, they had a huge fire in, was it 17? And just so much has changed over the years that, we joke about it. Wish we would have taken pictures of that because it was there one season and then it's gone the next. And, it's really always ever evolving there. It's crazy.
I'm just glad that he liked it. Like my first husband wasn't the biggest fan, although it's funny because then his family eventually found it and started going, and he started going more frequently than after the fact. But yeah, I just happened to find somebody who absolutely loved it,
yep.
like me. So that worked out. That was really well.
That's
good.
Tumultuous.
Coffee or tea? I'm gonna say neither.
Diet Coke. I mean, that's my caffeine. In the morning. I tried being a coffee person for a while. My dad was a huge coffee guy. I tried. I wanted to kind of emulate him and be like Mike. But unfortunately, I was always more of a Diet Coke, Diet Dew guy, and that's my caffeine rush right there.
Let's see. Do we have any pets?
We do now. Last year and a half?
Yep.
Yeah, we have chickens.
7 chickens.
Yeah, we do, and
they're mixed chicks.
They are.
We have a sign even on the coop that says
mixed chicks.
Mixed chicks.
Yeah. They're, for the most part, they're a lot of fun. I know I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but a lot of time when you get a lot of women together, they turn into catty, foul chickens. So we actually have one on permanent timeout. She's in a cage by herself.
She's right next to all of them. So.
She gets that type of togetherness, but she just picks on them so much. That's really the only pets I've ever had. I did have a hamster once when I think I was in middle school, and his name was George, and I had him maybe 2 weeks, and George got out of his cage, and the preceding weeks after that, there was a fine dust all over the house. We think George got down into the furnace, and
that's gross.
Oof, the magic of George was in the air. So, but yeah, pets and I don't really do well. They just don't like me.
And I'm allergic to everything. The chickens work out fantastic because they're outside,
Yep.
and so then I don't have a problem with the feathers, because otherwise I'm very allergic even to feathers. And so it's worked out so nice. They're all fun. They have their own little personalities. We're in the city, and so in our city you can only have hens. You can't have roosters. So we just have hens, and they do lay.
Yep.
And we get a lot of phenomenal eggs.
Yeah.
And they do taste different than what you find in the store.
It's just remarkable how much difference there is between store-bought and fresh eggs. Unfortunately, the time of year that we're in now, they've kind of, the egg spigot has turned off, I guess you could say.
It's crazy. They stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yep. So now they're in kind of sleepy mode, and they just kind of chill and hang out, and they're not as rambunctious during the day, and they realize the season's changing, and winter will be here soon, so they'll be, even hunkering down more.
And I think and we decided that when we got them that we were going to keep them till they pass, give them as good a life as we can.
Yep.
And so even when they quit laying or slow way down, we're still going to keep them and treat them exactly the same.
Yeah, they're living the good life.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah. They get treats all the time.
Treats.
Yeah. Now we can let them out in the yard, and they know how to go back into their coop.
Yeah, they like to play in the yard. It's funny.
Yep.
Watching them run and attempt to fly, and yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Let's see here. Are we planning on doing Vlogmas?
I don't know.
Maybe. I'm kind of up in the air yet about that. It's a lot of work. And I worry about content and stuff.
Yeah. So if you have ideas for Vlogmas, shoot them in the comments. If we get a lot of good ideas and things to do, maybe we'll do it. It wasn't the worst thing in the world last year.
No, I enjoyed it.
But yeah, I think we struggled at times for what to do. So I think this year we'll do it again. If we do it, we'll do making candy and cookies again, and maybe you can wrap presents or something.
Yeah, do some stuff like that. Yeah.
So, or we could do a get ready with me of what it takes in the morning to make this look so good.
I'd rather see him shampoo and show you what shampoo he uses. It is hilarious. Wow.
There's a big melon to clean.
Have you ever been to Mankato and seen some of the places in the Betsy Tacy books? Absolutely, yes. I have been to Mankato.
And I got dragged along as well. Didn't we go somewhere?
He's never been there.
Oh, I thought we went there.
I've been there 2 or 3 times.
I went once because I remember going into somebody's house.
Okay. And he even got me a brick in front of Betsy's house. And it's something, love your boys. Yeah, so I'm on a paver there. And yes, but I've been all around to Mankato. I've been to one of the conventions. And if you haven't read the Betsy Tacy books by Maud Hart Lovelace, I would highly recommend them. They're phenomenal. Let's see. What hobbies does the cameraman splurge on?
Hobbies. Probably just a couple. I do time to time collect watches. That's something I've been into probably the last 5 years or so. That and golf. Just got back into golf the last few years. I had shoulder surgery back in 2015 that didn't go well, and wasn't able to do a whole lot for probably a good 6-7 years or so, somewhere in there. But that would probably be it. That, and I do have a hobby of running.
Running, nice shoes.
Yeah. Yeah.
We do coins. Some coin collecting.
Yep. Every week we at least get a box of quarters every week and look through them.
Try to look for silver, and then we collect different, I love bicentennials.
Yeah.
If you ever have any extra bicentennial quarters and you want to send them my way, you can.
And we'll exchange them. We'll send
you quarters back. I have, how many do I have now? Over $275 worth.
Yeah.
So you're a math guy.
I don't know, was it 1,600? I thought it was 1,600.
Might be something like that, yeah. And I want.
That'd be 400.
Yeah.
And then what else do you collect?
Handbags.
No. What other quarters?
Great Smoky Mountains.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we collect the Bear Theaters quarters of all the boys.
Yep.
And then we give them that for Christmas as one of their Christmas gifts each year.
Yeah. So we get a big jar quarters.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see. If you could keep handbags from only one brand, what brand would it be? Then I'd probably say Louis Vuitton because I have the most, and I think there's the biggest variety there. As much as I love Mulberry, you're gonna find the Louis Vuitton every shape and size imaginable, every texture, every stuff it's made out of. I really like. They've been around forever and done it all, so I like them. Let's see. do you have any expensive hobbies or collect anything of value? Well, yeah, he also kind of collects baseball cards.
Yep.
But I would say his watches
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. Yep. That'd probably be my most expensive hobby.
Yeah, he was just kind of buying, you know, $200 or $300 watches, and now he's gotten himself a couple of, well, I got him the one.
For anniversary.
Take here.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we were in Charlotte last year,
Yep. I bought
oh
one.
no, that was this year.
Was it?
In May. Yeah, we were in Charlotte in May, and he walked in, and he got himself one.
I did.
And he knew what it was like then for me to buy an expensive bag.
Yeah. There was a little buyer's remorse, but, you know, it's such a large purchase. I got over it.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I think that's everything.
Awesome.
It's good to have you in the video. You're a couple people's, I think, boyfriends now.
Shout out to you ladies.
And then, yeah, I just really appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, you bet.
If you have any other questions, please leave them down in the comments down below. I'm going to try to find the video, or any video footage of the Christmas string thing, because it really was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, any questions you have down below. I generally put out videos on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Every other Thursday I do a book video. That one the cameraman is not involved in.
No.
I've had a couple people say they didn't want the comments from the man making the comments in the background, and I have to let them know that, you know, as annoying as he is, he can't go anywhere because he's mine. He's staying here.
Annoying.
And but and I think he's a lot of fun. So, and he's cute. But let's see. This will probably be split up over 2 videos. So this is probably going to be the Saturday video, which is tomorrow, and then we'll finish it up on Tuesday. And so then next week Sunday would be my next video, and I will have an unboxing for you.
And if you do have any ideas for Vlogmas, please fire those into the comments as well.
I think he likes to.
Well, we struggled for content at times last year, and
it'd be a bag review then. You know, and bag reviews are funny because when you
then
first
she's
put
got to
them
go
out
buy
there,
the bag.
no, but you first put them out there, and it's like, oh, you know, 100 people watch this.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, 3 months later, you look and you're like, oh wow, a lot of people watch this because they're more like destination videos then, like not necessarily something you want to watch if you have no interest in the bags. Kind of like my book videos. I see that there's not a lot of interest there, but that's okay because to me this has always been a hobby more than anything about my jam, the stuff I like, and I like talking about books. I like.
And I like making smart-ass comments while I film her.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to leave this all at that then. And so I'm going to say thank you so much for being here. And until next time, please do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If you can think of any Vlogmas ideas for him too, put it down in the description box below. And bye.